Hey artist friends, I am back with my December 2021 technically post for piececraftlove. I decided to publish it today. As you saw, my title is Advice for 2022, and I'll get into that title in a little bit. However, I started first by gessoing this watercolor page in my Dina Wakley Media Journal. It's the black journal with the burlap and canvas pages. And then I added some of my favorite ephemera. I love this French ledger page. I got a whole ledger of it, and I'm not exactly sure. I need to look up the words to see what it is, but I added some of that. And then some of these smaller little ledger pages with handwriting, just layering some interest in my background. At this point, I'm just playing, which is part of my advice for 2022. So up until this point, I'm using matte medium. However, on those burlap pages, I decided to add just a little bit of that heavy gel medium just to make sure that they were secure to the pages. And now that ephemera is down and dry, I grabbed some of this Dina Wakley collage paper to kind of thumb through and figure out which pages I wanted to use. I kind of have a general idea in mind of what I want to do, but basically I am just playing. I'm along for the ride, having fun playing. I haven't created in a few weeks due to the holidays and decorating, and I just wanted to play. And so part of my playing was grabbing these gloss sprays by Dina Wakley. I haven't really used them. In fact, some of them still are sealed up. I've seen lots of artists using them and being successful with them. I've tried them a little bit, mainly just kind of as splatters, but I haven't really used them a lot on my pages. I'd see some issues with like the spray clogging, so I didn't want to really use the sprays. I kind of wanted to use them as paint and splatter and for fun. So I'm experimenting and playing with these sprays as my main paint for the pages because, again, my goal here is just to play and have fun and use some materials that I haven't really played with this year. So really, I'm just splattering this paint. I'm using the little spray plastic tube to kind of like squiggle with it a little bit, but I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, I've seen people use these. I haven't really paid attention to how people are using them, so I have no idea here what techniques to use or what to do. I am just, like I said, which is going to be the theme of these pages, just playing and having fun and stepping back into art after being away for a few weeks. So I decided to use that collage sheet. I'm going to cut out a bunch of those leaf shapes to use on my pages. But before I put them down, I decided to put a little gesso into my background. If you've watched some of my videos, you kind of know that after I put down the ephemera, I usually add some gesso. And I think I was so excited to play with those sprays that I didn't add the gesso. So I added that next, which is kind of a fun mix-up of my usual technique. Here I'm just adding some watered down gesso, splattering it, spraying it. I'm adding it to that left to bring the white over to the left side on the burlap, but again, 100% just playing here. Now I'm grabbing my matte medium to add those collage tissue leaf shapes down. You'll see it in the second one. I kind of cut one apart to make it longer so that it wouldn't look like all the other leaf shapes. I'm kind of like allowing them to just fall on the page and look kind of however they're going to look, adding lots of matte medium to make sure they're secured down to the pages. Next, I grab this new stamp set by Dina Wakley and I add some of these wonky circly shapes to the background with some archival black ink. I'm going to add this to the left, to the center, and to the right a little bit to add another, just a little bit of interest to the background in the whole idea of just playing and having fun here. And not knowing really what to do next, I decided to use my paintbrush and paint some of that gloss spray into these leaves. I grabbed the eggplant color, I believe, first and paint that in, and then I'm going to grab the marine and splatter it in. I'm really kind of liking how when you add a color to the gloss spray, it kind of like distributes and looks maybe a little bit like stained glass. So I'm having fun with that technique. I'm going to color in all three of these leaves with that eggplant color and splatters with that marine color, and I think I do some splattering with maybe ocean too. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't really keep track of all of my paint color choices here because I was just grabbing them and kind of just experimenting and having fun in the moment. So while I admit I'm kind of, quote, having fun in the moment, I am also inside kind of desperately worried about where this page is going. I don't know what I'm doing, and I am contemplating completely gessoing over it, but I'm trying to embrace where this is going and figure out my next steps. So I'm thinking that I want to maybe use some of these bold leaf stamp shapes maybe on the left side. So I go ahead and stamp a couple of those on watercolor paper. In the end, you'll see that I don't use them, but they make their appearance a couple times as I'm trying to figure out if I want to use them. Alright, so now it's time to kind of push back some of that chaos and hopefully save these pages. I grabbed the black gesso from Dina Wakley. I watered it down a little bit and used it as a way to kind of calm the chaos in the background. I'm going to paint it around the leaf shapes and just kind of go with it here as my brain and my paintbrush figure out where this color needs to be to push back the chaos and to create kind of a pleasing shape in the background, and so that it looks kind of like it's flowing on the pages around the leaves. A little nervous here about how much black was going down, so I grabbed a baby wipe to kind of wipe a little bit of away, but then I had to continue to add some more black here again just to calm that chaos, try to save my pages, and basically just play like I've been saying. So again, I am not loving these pages. Like I told you in the beginning, I had no rhyme or reason or plan or what to do other than just to step back into my journal and play. So I decided to pull some of that black into the left and If you watched the Lost series, what was going through my brain right now was thinking about that black smoke monster. For some reason, this black creeping onto the left was reminding me of that smoke in the forest. So just a little funny side tangent there. My leaves were kind of fading into the background a little bit, so I decided to grab that cheddar and add just a pop of orange to them. This is doing kind of the trick and pulling those leaves back out to the foreground and making them pop and adding a little bit more interest to them. Adding this orange cheddar color is even making them look more like kind of glassy stained glass leaves, which is actually kind of fun. And as I say, go big or go home. So I am adding some huge splatters of that cheddar to my background as well to kind of pull that orange color throughout the pages. So it's time to kind of bring these pages together, and here comes my advice for the new year. For 2022, I am calling this my advice for the new year page, and I am putting on them very boldly, be bold, be brave, and then also be willing to play. This is my advice to you in the new year. I think we get so tied up sometimes of putting beautiful, composed, pretty art journal pages on Instagram and showing these amazing works that we created. However, they don't always turn out perfect, and sometimes you struggle and sometimes they're not great and you have to dig yourself out of a hole. But the whole point for me personally in an art journal is playtime. I like to be bold and be brave and be willing to mess up, make mistakes, have fun, and to play, because how else do you discover new techniques, new colors, new things to do, and even things you don't like? All of that is so important when you're art journaling. These are in journals, they're for fun, they're to look through, they're not going on the wall of a museum. They become kind of your history and art and your story, and just have fun. Be willing to play, be bold, be brave in 2022, and just have fun creating art. So I decided I needed to add some more of that black boldly and bravely to the left side. I also had stamped some of that leaf shape onto that ledger page, like I stamped the be bold and brave, and again, hoping to maybe use that on the left, but I end up not using it. I'm adding some more splatters here on top of the black to try to tie it all together and hope I come up with some kind of pleasing composition. But in the end, my heart is saying, who cares? I am playing here and I am having fun in my art journal. So I hope that this encourages you to do the same in this new year. Grab your art journal out today, be brave, be bold, and just play. And since those stamped leaf images didn't come together on the left, I decided to grab some of the tissue paper images and put them down on that left side. I'm going to fill them in with some of the colored glass medium or glass spray, whatever it's called, as well, so that it matches the left, using a little bit different technique, not as bold as that right side. I'm going to attach this saying with some of that heavy gel. I'm going to put down the be willing to play with some matte medium and kind of bring these pages to a close. And that's basically it for these pages. Well, I didn't love them while I was creating them, and I kind of didn't love them in the middle, but I started to fall in love with them at the end. But most of all, I fell in love with my message to myself and to you in this new year to be brave, be bold, and be willing to play in your art journal. With that, I wish you a wonderful beginning to 2022. I hope to see you on Instagram, YouTube, and the like. If you use these techniques or play with your gel sprays like I did, or gel sprays, is that what they're called? Gloss sprays. Tag me. I want to see how you're playing. I want to see how you're being bold and being brave in this new year. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Oh, and one more quick thing, just a reminder, as a Piececraft Creative Ambassador, I have a coupon code for you. Hop over to piececraftlove.com, use Nicole, sent me 10 for 10% off your order to order these fun gloss sprays from Dina Wakley and all the other supplies I use to create these journal pages.